Hi everyone. Well, it's been a while since I made a video, but the reason for that is that I don't like to just make videos for the hell of it. I only like to make them uh, when there's a good reason for it. So I need to update everybody on a few items. Um, Basically, the way we have to handle foreclosures and um, auto loans that they're going to come and repo your car, and bank loans and things like that. Okay, step number one, you have to have your copyright documents done and your traffic stop documents done. That means that they have to be filled out and put into the public record in your um, county registry. And some of my other videos explain why you should do that. So that would be your first step. The next step is to do a promissory note and send it to the banks or whatever company is looking for money and pay off the debt with a promissory note. Excuse me. Had a cold for a while. All right, so you get the promissory note from me. If you ask for it, I will email it to you. Um, then after you've sent that in, and there's a particular way you have to send it in, and I'll explain that to you when you're ready. But it would go to the CFO or the CEO of the company that is saying you owe them money. Now, what's going to happen is that they're going to, in some fashion, refuse to take that as payment. The problem with them refusing it is that a promissory note, if you think about it, when you bought your house or your car, you signed a promissory note. Okay, they're the ones that originated the promissory note. So they like theirs. And they can take your promissory note, go to the Fed, cash it in, and yada, yada, yada. Um, but if you send one in, they're going to refuse it. Now, they have no right to refuse it because the debt was created via a promissory note. So by you sending in a promissory note to pay off your debt, it's the same like and kind of legal tender as they used in the first place. Now, the law, which would be UCC 3-603, says that if you tender payment using legal tender, promissory note is legal tender, if they refuse it, then the debt is to be discharged. Okay, we didn't write those laws, they did. Okay, so that means if they say they don't like your promissory note and they're not going to credit your account, oh, bad move, you can now sue them and you'll win. So after you've sent the promissory note, you give them 10 days for them to find any discrepancies in it, because that's the only way they can not take them is if there is a defect. If there's a defect, they have to tell you what the defect is, and then you can correct it and then resubmit it. But they don't do that. Now, the law says that it's another UCC 3-103, I believe it is, says that a promissory note is legal tender. So they have no right to not take it. The only way that they could get away with not taking it is to actually um, dishonor the note in commerce and then send you the notice of dishonor. But even then, they've refused it. And unless they have a good reason for dishonoring your note, shame on them. So, what are we going to do? We have to make them do what they're supposed to do with that note. Now, it's my belief that they take the promissory note and they go to the Fed window and they cash it in, and now they can just take that money and put it in their pockets. So it either goes into the account of the bank that you owe the money to, or they put it in their pockets, which is the most likely thing that happens. They just put it in their pockets. And so they use it for their own enrichment. There's a problem with that. That's called securities fraud and also grand theft and, a whole bunch of other little things. So now what you need to do is you file a common law lawsuit, not a standard lawsuit, because a standard lawsuit uses all of their statutes and their codes and all that stuff. Well, when you do a common law lawsuit, that stuff is not applicable. It is not to take place in your court. And when you file the case and you're the plaintiff, but I don't like to use plaintiff, I like to use claimant, because it more accurately describes what you are. You're putting in a claim, not a complaint. A complaint is somebody bitching about something. Well, we're not bitching. We're putting in a claim. And it's a basic thing. It's not difficult. It's only a few lines long and maybe a couple of paragraphs for the affidavit portion explaining why you are in belief that they have committed fraud. And believe me, they have committed fraud right from the start. When you first signed that document and they cashed it in, they took the money and they put that money into an account in your name in their bank and didn't tell you about it. Okay? That's fraud, because they're trying to trick you. Now, why don't they tell you about it, that they put that money in that account? Because if you were informed, you could go down to the bank and you could claim the whole amount. Whatever the mortgage is on your house, you could have claimed the whole thing, and they would have had to put that money in your bank account or give you cash or whatever. Now just imagine that. You buy a house, the house is worth $200,000. You go in and claim that money, and you're $200,000 richer, and you got your house. So what can you do then? Well, you can take that $200,000 and pay off their note, and they're all done. But that's not how it works. So they cheat you, lie to you, and defraud you right from the start. The fraud just keeps piling on from there, okay? And in the lawsuits, we cover all those bases. All right, so now you put in your lawsuit, and this lawsuit, if you already have a claim open in court, like say you have filed a lawsuit to try and prevent them from from foreclosing on your property, This lawsuit is done on the side as a collateral attack. And you're not going after the banks. You're going after the CFO, the CEO, all the lawyers that are involved in the possible foreclosure of your property. Because if you get notices from lawyers, those are the people that are going to be sued. Okay? Because when they put in their court papers, everything that that lawyer puts on those pages that is supposed to be a criminal complaint is bullshit. Okay? It's not admissible in court as evidence. Now, I'm just telling you, they do it every day. And because the people out here are so uneducated about any kind of law whatsoever, they just railroad right over you. And, as far as I'm concerned, the court's involved in fraud too, because they should be protecting us against this kind of crap. But unfortunately, they get money from it. Okay? When these things go through, the judges get a portion of that, of the money that was in there for the court fees and all the other stuff that they do, and it goes into their retirement fund. So the whole thing it's a rigged game right from the start. It's like going to Las Vegas and playing the roulette wheel, and the thing lands on 7 or 11 every time. Okay, it's rigged. But under common law, that judge is restricted from doing anything that you don't like. In a common law lawsuit where you are the tribunal, now in a court case like that, you have the tribunal and you have the magistrate or the judge. But the judge is limited as to what he can do in that kind of a lawsuit. He is only a referee, and that's what he's supposed to be in every case in the country, but that's not how they do it. But under common law, oh yes, because you are the tribunal. That means the court is yours. You're the boss, you're the king, what you say goes. So let's say that judge was to say something that you didn't like in court. You could hold him in contempt of court. Yep, powerful stuff. Now, if that judge makes a ruling in the court that you don't like, you just fill out an order that says to vacate that judge's order. And it kicks his shit right out of there. Because that's not his place. His place is to do what you tell him to do. He's an employee of the court, and you own the court. You are essentially the king in the room. This is true sovereignty, okay? Everybody wants to attain sovereignty. Well, this is how you do it, because you're the sovereign in the room, and if they don't know it, they will by the time you get done. So, now what's going to happen when you do the suit? Well, number one, you're going to be in the affidavit portion of the suit, you're going to be explaining how the fraud went down, right from the start to the finish. Those lawyers are involved in fraud from the minute they pick up their typewriter and start typing. Okay? It's disgusting. But if you know this stuff ahead of time, you can fight them off. You can make rules for the court that limits what they can do. They can only present things under common law. They can't bring in any of their statutes or their codes or anything like that. You just quash all of that crap. And there's Supreme Court decisions. Trinzi versus Pagliaro is one of them. And that basically says that no lawyer in pleadings or anything written into the court can be both the attorney and the witness. So that means if the attorney writes the complaint against you or writes anything, it doesn't matter because he's not the witness and he can't be both. So he's prohibited. If he's going to be the attorney, he has to be the attorney, but he cannot put things into the case that the court's going to act on as though it was law, you know, or evidence. No, nothing he does is to be considered as evidence. But if you don't bring this up and stop them from doing it, they will do it. They do it every day. And that's how they win all these foreclosure cases. Because the judge and the lawyer for the banks and the bank themselves, they're all in on it. They all back each other up, and they're all getting a piece of the pie. Everybody except you. So doing these common law lawsuits is the only remedy that we have that will work. If you're thinking of doing all this patriot bullshit that you hear people, man on the land, I'm going to tell you right now, that shit don't work. Okay? So if you're thinking of writing up those kind of documents, putting those kind of documents in as legal, no, man, that stuff is garbage. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked from day one. So abandon that kind of an approach. The approach to this is common law. The common law lawsuit is your way to remedy. All right, let's say for instance, you guys are out there and Child Protective Services has come and take your kids away from you. That's a no-no, okay? Because those kids are your property. The courts were designed and brought into existence to protect property. Now, if you go into court and tell them, you guys have my children and I want them back, they're going to shuffle you out the door as fast as you came in. All right? However, if you go in and you bring this case into common law and you demand that that judge return your property post haste, you're going to get your kids back. All right? And it's a simple type of a lawsuit to do. And I think that just about anybody can do it. You got to learn a few things, okay? You've got to do some serious studying in this area so that you have an idea to understand what the hell is going on, you know? So there is a guy that does these lawsuits. He does them a lot. And this guy is somebody that you need to listen to. Now, on YouTube, you can put his name into the search bar and his videos will come up. Okay, now this guy's name is Carl Lentz. And his name is spelled with a K, Karl Lentz. Watch this guy's videos. You're going to learn how simple it can be. Now, Carl's a little gruff, okay? Because he lives up in the mountains. I'm not sure where, but I live in the mountains as well, and some of the people around here are a little cranky, okay? And he is a little cranky, but he's spot on. Everything he says is gold, and you need to listen to his stuff. Now, after you've listened to a few of his videos, just the ones that are in his name, then I suggest in the search bar you put trust in all law. Just like it says, it's all one word, all lowercase, trust in all law. Now, this guy on YouTube has done us all a very, very very big favor. Carl's shows, they're on TalkShoe, and they're in the MP3 format there. If you go to TalkShoe and put his name in there, Carl Lentz, you're going to come up with a bunch of um, audio files there that, I'm telling you, this is a wealth of knowledge. Okay, you've got to listen to it. But this guy that does the trust in all law thing, he is what I would call an avid listener to these videos. And what he does is he picks out the gems. Okay, now you can listen to a 2 or 3 hour audio file, and really there's only maybe 20 minutes worth of stuff in there that's really what you're looking for. Well, this guy has listened to all these videos, and then he has cut out the pieces for each one of those shows and labeled them as what they are. And what a treasure trove of knowledge this is. Okay? So after you've listened to a few of his full-length videos, you need to go through all of those ones that are on Trust in All Law, because those are the gems, the things that you need to do. Now, there's a little more to it than just listening to the video and then trying to go off on your own and do this stuff. No, you got to remember that these people that you're going up against in court, they're word masters. They will twist anything you say and make it fit their needs, and they will railroad you and screw you over as fast as you can blink an eye. So there are techniques that you have to use. Carl will go through a lot of them. And at that point, I'm here. You guys can contact me. My email address is bigdu1@roadrunner.com. That's B as in Bob, U as in up, G as in Gus, D as in Donald, U as in up. Maybe I said that wrong. It's BIGD as in Donald, U, and the number 1. Don't put a number sign in a 1. No, just put 1, the numeral, at roadrunner.com. Okay? And, if you need help with any of this stuff, I'll be more than glad to help you. Like I've said before, I'm not in this to make a bunch of money. I'm in this to wake you people up, if I can. And the only way to do that is to give the people knowledge. And that's a very important thing. For a lack of knowledge, my people suffer. That's one of the things in the Bible, And so we have to stop our people from getting railroaded. And these are some of the techniques that we have to use to do it. There's going to be some listening you have to do. Now, I have on my website, there's a huge, there's a DVD selection that you guys can purchase if you like. It's all the stuff that I've come across, legal documents, seminars, you name it. I got it on this. It's taken me 8 years to collect all this stuff. So what I do is I slap it on DVDs, and right now I have it on 4 DVDs. And I don't mean CDs, I mean they're DVDs, okay? So they're a lot bigger. And those are going for $18. Hey, that covers my production, and the shipping, because I don't charge shipping. Um, and unless you're from overseas, and if you're overseas, I'll just give you an idea. I ship my DVDs um, to Australia, and the shipping was $9, and they only weigh 3 ounces. So that's crazy. Um, but anyway, so you need to get those things because yes, you can find all of that stuff on the internet, but you don't know where to go, and you can search all day and never find any, even a smidgen of the stuff that's on here. You won't find. So for your own knowledge and being able to just reach into these DVDs and pick out the particular documents that you need for what you're trying to do. It's a treasure trove. If I had had that when I started out doing all this commercial law stuff 8 or 9 years ago, um, I would have been zooming like a jet plane. So these things are important for you guys. And believe me, some of the stuff on here, I've seen people selling this stuff for $300, $400, and I want to scream because, it's ridiculous. But sometimes they get it. People, how many of those do you need to get? You know, 4 or 5 a week, and you've made a pretty good week's pay. So $18 is more than a fair price, I'm telling you. Okay, so I think that's about all I got to say for this video. Um, just remember that common law is how we have to go. It's how we get our country back. It's how we get the IRS off of our back. You owe the IRS money? Well, don't forget, you haven't got any money. You didn't get paid. You got Federal Reserve notes. Okay? They're notes, they're IOUs. And you haven't received any money yet. So how can you pay taxes on debt? You can't. You don't owe any taxes. So, and you can use common law methods to get those bloodsuckers off of your back. And, I can help you with that kind of stuff if you need it. Um, yeah, so I guess that's about all for right now. Oh yeah, I'll give you my address for my website. It's on some of these other videos, but I don't feel like sitting there messing with this video to put in, graphics, and it's a pain in the ass. So I'll save myself the time. But the name of the website, and you can type this in, I'll give you the whole URL. It's http colon slash, the slash key that's down right next to the shift key on the right hand side, the question mark key. You go slash slash www dot what the heck is it? I keep on forgetting. Public record registry. What am I saying? That's wrong. Yeah. Public record registry dot info. I could have screwed that up. I never go to my own website, so it's a little screwy. But at any rate, if you can't find it, just when you email me, I will put a thing in there for you telling you how to get to the website and stuff like that. Just let me know that you knew, and I'll put it in there. And then you guys can go to the website. And if you have documents, like sometimes you go into the uh, county registry, and lately the registries have been really clamping down. They don't have any right to, but they're telling people that they can't file documents like copyrights and stuff like that. And oh yeah, you can make them do it, but it's gonna it's gonna entail a lawsuit. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. So if you run into that business, don't worry about it. Just give me a call or email, explain that you've been having trouble, and you can put them on the website. Now, most of the county registries get at least $12 for the first page, and then $3 or $4 for each page after that per document. So if you put in 2 documents, you're going to have to pay 2 times 12, and then $4 for each page after. It starts to add up, I'll tell you. So if you put in a 4-page document on my website, you're going to pay $5 for that. If you have more than that, then you're going to pay like 15 if you're putting in, say, a 10 or 15 page document. Yeah, you'll pay $15 for that. So it'll save you some money. But in all honesty, I would rather see you put it in your county registry if you can, because then your documents are right in your local area. And when you hand a cop from your town one of these documents, he's going to look at it and see that it's in the public record in your county, and he's going to know it's real. So they won't give you a ticket. They'll tell you to go on your way, have a nice day, just slow down, be a good boy, be a good slave, you know. So that's enough for today. Thank you guys for watching, and hey, peace be with you. Later.